Welcome to Dip-a-Toe.
Welcome to the Dip-a-Toe Let's Talk Crypto Show.
How you doing, Simon?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well like every day. But in the minute by minute, you know, we get lost in it, right? But honestly, I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very, very well. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm doing good. Got back yesterday. Yesterday from a trip up north, which was quite nice. Didn't want to come back to reality.
No. No, this is not reality. Where you were at, that was reality. That was real. You were in nature. You had sap, fish in the water, like dirt, real dirt, not that Home Depot crap. Like naturally occurring.
I tell you, that's how I want my life to be forever. You know,
live out here. We relaxing.
Got it. Oh, welcome, Becky. How you doing, my friend?
Becky, Miss Becky. Man, did you hear the good news on Becky?
I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna say it for our 15 minutes of inspiration.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, now it's time for
15 minutes of inspiration.
Feel good stories.
Feel good stories. I'll swing first. So, as most of you know, last Tuesday was a very, very hard Tuesday for Miss Becky Forbes. She's in the crowd hanging out with us. She is a long time listener, first time caller, and of course, she's a patron of Alan Staple, as most of you know, a Staple Crew, and also Jake. Jake, you know the Jacob.
Jake Claver.
I always screw it up, man. Claver. She's also a patron of that channel as well. And Tuesday was very bad. Lost all her crypto, but the XRP army and the community came through for her and showed their love. And she is 100% whole.
Amen.
Again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yep. And everything, all the other funding or anything, if they're still going on, stop. Just don't do no mo. The goal was whole, not anymore. So she is whole, very much whole. So, you know, out of all the things that we hear in the crypto space, right? I mean, obviously the tragedy that struck her, and yet we can still do our best to try to help a brother, help a sister out when we can. And I've been a part of a few of those in my crypto journey. Like, I actually really forgot how many times I would send like a little bit of Litecoin, like to another person in the, in the chat that I knew that was there for a while. I didn't just give it to somebody I didn't know or at least familiar with, right? But it's so great to be a part of that. So really, all you XRP family, not really army, more family out there, thank you for showing the world that people in this space actually give a darn hoot nanny
about each other. And for those of you who might not be aware, we discussed this last week. Miss Becky was inquiring Ledger support on X because she thought there was a warning out there that she needed to update her Ledger, and there was a scammer that looked very much like a legitimate account on Ledger, and they convinced her to give them her keys. And not to rub salt in a wound, Becky, but thank you so much for sharing your story so that others can learn and we can all remind ourselves never, ever, ever, never, ever, never give your keys. But I'm thankful, and God bless everyone that felt inclined to fill her bag back up with 5-10 here and there. So we really appreciate that. I want to say hello to Hilltop Dave. Hilltop Dave says, good evening, Simon. We had Joe Buddy in here. I hope I'm saying that right. Life with Glee.
Life with Glee. Yeah,
Yeah.
Live with Glee was probably over at my channel. Said, "Ain't nobody in there. I'm coming over here where the party's at."
Let's go, Dipito. Amen to that, my friend. Thank you for coming. We have 14 people watching on the live. If you guys would all hit the like button for us, it would really be appreciated. So my contribution to the 15 minutes of inspiration is kind of really a little shorty dorty. I follow this account on Twitter, X, Kevin W. Brink at Brink Thinker. And I really like this account, but
Uh-oh. Oh, we got it.
what a man. What a man, huh?
Dude, that looked like John Deaton's cousin.
I know, right?
Didn't it? I'm like, I was like, shut up. No. That man, that's John. I swear to God, dude, is that your cousin? Is that your
Congratulations to John Deaton. I heard that he won the primary.
Oh my gosh.
Super excited about that. And for those that you don't know, he's a lawyer that went up against went up to a bunch of other people to run against Elizabeth Warren to take her seat from her. And I think is it New Hampshire, I believe, is where
Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. In any event,
New Hampshire.
he won his primary, I suppose, and I have a feeling that he's going to win the seat. And wouldn't that be glorious if we have the likes of John Deaton on our side? So shout out to him and everybody that's supporting him. That's awesome. Super happy. Super happy about that.
The Boston Tea Party 2.0 crypto style. Everything's gonna be on chain.
Yeah,
we got something like that, man. I'm telling you, this is all, revolutionary times kind of vibe. Only we ain't got the muskets no more, man. We have advanced a little bit, but we have advanced. It's only been a couple of hundred, maybe 300-ish, 250, something like that.
Well, tonight I thought we would talk about stablecoins. Stablecoins and XRP is the title of the video, understanding RLUSD and its benefits. Because for myself, I am a continuous learner. I'm always trying to get a better understanding of this crypto universe and what it all means and how it all ties together. And I realize, I know a little bit about stable coins, but then you always hear like the bickering back and forth and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that comes from some folks when it comes to, say, XRP in particular, which is why I said stable coins and XRP, because of their new creation RLUSD. And so I kind of formed this little relationship with Copilot. I got a little Copilot in my pocket that I was
whoa, this is a family show. Whoa.
I tell you what, guys, this whole AI thing, where you're able to ask it questions, and of course, as you keep going back and forth with it. It might not give you the most great answer, but if you know the right questions to ask, you can keep asking it to expand, and sometimes even direct. And I'm noticing the more that I'm playing around with this thing, the more that it understands me and my framing of questions. And so I'm quite enjoying it quite a bit, and it's making this a little bit easier, this job a little bit easier.
You complete me.
Co-pilot, you complete me.
Complete
Yeah,
me.
this is a Microsoft product that I'm using, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, Microsoft,
Dun,
no, the devil. Yeah, but you know, a lot of people, they have their preference for browsers and whatnot, but I personally, the Edge browser has been very intuitive for me.
Edge.
I like the collections. I'm able to save my research nicely. And I mean, I've been saving research for years and years and years and years and years. This is this one, I like it. It feels good to me. So I'm comfortable with it and I'm using it. And if I found something else that was equally as good and as intuitive for my personal way of researching, then of course I would change. But hey, Cheap Suit, my friend, is Microsoft still a thing? Heck yeah, girlfriend, it's still a thing. It is still a thing.
When you should really be attentive to a company is when you stop hearing about them.
Right?
Perfect example. IBM. You'll get a blip on the screen, and then they're like, nobody talks about another blip on the screen. Or General Electric. That's another one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I mean, IBM, they're dipping their toe, aren't they?
Yes, they are totally dipping their toe. I need like another comment section screen thing right here. So if anybody knows where I can get one of those vertical ones on the cheapy cheap, just put it in the chat, because I'm making my loan list. Not my wish list no more. It's my loan list. See, well, never mind. That's IBC stuff. But I'm making a loan list. Things that I'm gonna go, okay, cha-ching, swipe at my bank, get the thing I want, and pay it back. Yeah. Anyways, enough
now,
about that.
Speaking of IBC, infinite banking concept. For those of you that don't know, Simon's been doing a show with Alan Staple on the Staple Crew channel, and on Simon Says Crypto channel, and they've been doing a series on the infinite banking concept, and it's very informative for those of you that are interested in dipping a toe and learning different ways that you can keep your money, your hard-earned money, and put it to work for yourself, and have access to be able to borrow from yourself. And so, I've been doing a little bit of reorganizing and looking at my bills and trying to figure out how I can consolidate some things and save myself some money, and then put that money towards, so as soon as I get myself in a position where I can pull the trigger on it, I'm super excited to try it out a little bit.
Do it. Keep working at it.
Take a little bit of time, but it really makes a lot of sense when if you are putting your money into the infinite banking system, where you have, what it is the whole life insurance policies, right? With a mutual fund aspect, they're invested into.
You want dividend paying whole life insurance policy, with the mutual participating company. Yes, ma'am.
And then, the cash value side you can borrow from. So you're actually borrowing from yourself. So the idea
against, like when I used to say from all the time.
Yeah.
And like that word from would screw me up, and I didn't know it, because I think I'm borrowing from myself. Like I'm taking the money out. No, man, that money's in there, lock, stock, compounding. We're saying, hey, I have this shiny donut over here. If you lend me $50, I'll let you have that if I die. Sound like a good deal? Great. Let's do it. A little bit more involved in that.
Oh, I got you. So your cash side, that you're it's still earning the interest.
Yeah. It's
the dividends from
uninterrupted,
it. Oh, okay.
compounding.
Yeah,
That
I'm super
dividends.
excited about.
I can't wait to sit down with you for like 1 hour because you're gonna go. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I like it.
Even and then we're going to talk about stable coins, I promise.
Yeah.
Even thinking like on those times where you're like, I could really use an extra $500 right now to buy that conference ticket that I didn't save up for ahead of time, or these types of things pop up for me all the time that I don't necessarily budget for, and to be able to just not get put it on a credit card where you're paying a lot of high interest, to be able to borrow from yourself is golden, and then know that money is still yours. You're paying it back, and it's still there. You haven't given it to anybody else.
Yeah,
and that I just love it. I just really love it.
High interest. Focus on that high interest. And I kind of touched on this in yesterday's video, and we're gonna go right to stable coins because I'm interested about the stable coin phenomenon because of the whole IBC thing. Like, I'm really curious how this is going to play out. But, so when you are willing, and you are willing right now, everybody that's got a credit card out there, you are willing to pay that interest rate 100%. Like, you might feel desperate. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you're feeling happy and awesome. You're like, I am willing to do it, and I'm going to kick my feet the whole time doing it. So the reason why we're kicking our feet is because all that money is going to somebody else. So why wouldn't you, if you had the option, why wouldn't you pay yourself the same money? Right? The same money. If you're paying 21% over JP Morgan Chase friends, and I'm sorry, JP Morgan Chase, you're old school. Okay. I'm sorry. I always go for one of the top dogs, even though you're probably not the top dog, but you are in my area. So there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing personal, just business. If you're willing to give that money to them, then you should be very much willing to give that money to yourself. So when you borrow from yourself, you pay yourself back, pay that interest back, because that also goes into your to your policy. It compounds, and now you've created more cash value for you to borrow again the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time.
Yeah.
It's
really,
really great.
Cool. I want to give a shout out to my favorite Mr. Crypto Professor.
The professional man, you have to, wherever he's gonna be at the next time, and we're all gonna commingle and whatever. You got to be there, man. I mean, it was so cool to finally shake hands with him, give him a hug, go in the ocean and swim together. And we weren't holding hands, but I mean, like, we were real close. No, it was great. It was so great to hang out with him, Melissa. We gotta get you in on the next one for realsies.
Most definitely. Life with Glee. I want to come to your cheese and wine party.
What?
That's right after my.
Cool.
He's with us, except for all I have is a White Russian.
Yeah.
With no cheese.
I got. Man, I don't know how old this tea is, but I'm gonna have some. I got a problem, everybody. I got a problem. I'm willing to go on record right now. I might have a small tea problem.
Yeah. Well, let's talk
stable coins.
Let's get on with the show.
I want to talk this because this has been a long time coming, right? If you've been in XRP at any length of time, 2, 3, 4, what year is it? 24 to 6 years, 8 years. If you've been in XRP for 8 years, even, there's been the little loose lips on a possible standardized dollar, tokenization of a dollar, CBDCs, right? You've been in it long enough to where you've heard about maybe Ripple is going to do something like this. And I remember Ripple was on the one of the boards for the United States Dollar Project that had to do with the Fed now. I remember I still have the papers. I just came across it. So, you know, and here we are. We're talking about the RLUSD, and Melissa, take it away. What did what Main Street level information did you find? Because I know you dive deep, sister. They made a special digital air tank for you because that's how deep you go. I know.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, it, you know, through my research, there's a lot here. And so I'm going to just touch on a few things that I found and maybe go over a little bit of my conversation that, of course, makes me want to dive into it even deeper. And hopefully this show will inspire you all to do your own little bit of digging. But first, for the dip-a-toers in the audience, those that might not be familiar, what is a stable coin? And so the definition of a stable coin, they are a type of cryptocurrency, but they're designed to maintain a stable value. They peg their worth to a reserve asset such as fiat currency like the US dollar. They could be pegged to a commodity like gold or even another cryptocurrency. And the primary purpose of stable coins is to provide a less volatile alternative to traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and which that kind of makes them more suitable for everyday transaction and also as a store of value. So they offer like a price stability, and they combine the benefits of digital currency such as fast transaction and low fees, but with the reliability of the traditional financial systems that everybody is kind of used to. And so they are, you know, they're an exciting new convenient payment mechanism, really. And they can be used to settle payments and remit money worldwide seamlessly. And the other thing is that they can be integrated into other digital applications that are cross-compatible with other systems. And that happens due to their open source design. And so basically they're a contrast to the closed system operations of traditional banks. So if you have, I was going to give you some top 11 advantages of stablecoins, but do you have anything to add to that right now?
That last part that we were just talking about the interoperability. The open source, which creates the avenue of interoper. Oh my, Lanta.
Interoperability.
Thank you. I got you on the cinnamon and aluminum. I could do that all day. Okay, so on that, Quincy talked about that on the XDC network.
Yep.
Dude, what was in this, man? And so that's very key. Normally we would just whatever, okay, cool, can talk to each other, blah blah blah, right? But that's a huge development. I know Mr. Man's been all over that that kind of topic of citing the boring but yet crucial piece to the puzzle that like it's pretty much going to make the stuff very adoptable. I'll use the word. I'll use that word because it is. So I just again focusing on that, guys. That being able to go on multiple networks and or multiple chains. Like I saw that this is being released on 2 networks, right? And I think you're going to touch on that a little bit later. But but that's just an example. So I just want to bring
that you're talking about the RLUSD, the Ripple stable coin. It's going to be on the XRP ledger and the Ethereum network.
That's right. That's right.
Which is widely known for its smart contracts. So it's very interesting. But so before we go on, here are the top 11 advantages of stable coins. And those of you in the chat, agree, disagree. I don't know. This is but these all make sense to me, so I'm keeping them. They can be backed by real world assets.
That's important.
That's very important. They can be used for global transactions. Very important.
Also important.
Low transaction fees.
Important.
Quick transfer. Offers protection for traders and investors during volatile periods. They can be sent and received by anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's important. They're also ideal for cross-border payments. That's a Ripple thing. And others, I think, also, but that stands out. They can be pegged to almost any asset. They help unbanked businesses send and receive money. They're less speculative assets, and they boost crypto credibility adoption. So all of those things I think are key to really getting the adoption that we're all desiring, which then will, in theory, increase the value of some of the different coins and tokens that we hold. The ones that have been built to facilitate or be the mechanism used to exchange value for value, which is XRP, one of them, XRP. But then the other thing is, so here, I'll give a little brief history of the evolution of stable coins in the crypto market. So
sure.
the concept of stable coins emerged as a solution to the high volatility that was seen in the crypto market. Obviously, when it first came on the scene, there's tons of speculation, a lot of uncertainty. Nobody knows what's going to really go down with all of this. And I learned that the first stable coins were called BitUSD and NutBits or NuBits, and they were introduced in 2014. I personally, I don't have really any knowledge of those. I don't really know. I just learned about them a couple of days ago. But what these early stable coins did was they collateralized through other cryptocurrencies rather than fiat currencies. Right. And so that seems like a good idea, you know, and it probably was at the time as they were developing this to figure out kind of what's going on. But as you probably know, if you've been in the crypto space for any amount of time, it's quite volatile, especially, you know, in the infancy stages. It was very, very volatile. So I think that was kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, we gotta kind of do this a different way. And so over time, the market saw the introduction of fiat-backed stablecoins like Tether, which was also in 2014. And Tether became the most widely used stablecoin. I mean, it's still a very widely used stablecoin. And I remember as I got into the crypto space, I think it was end of 2018 or early 2019, somewhere in there. That was what I needed to get. I needed to get Tether in order to get all of these other altcoins that I heard about. And so that was kind of the on-ramp or the entrance coin that I was able to do to buy these other coins. You know, like, I don't know, what would be the one, what's it called? What's the one that drives me nuts? Theta. I think it was Theta. Anyway, so in any event, the popularity of the stablecoin surged during the 2020 crypto boom, and apparently it skyrocketed from approximately 5 billion at the start of 2020 to over 180 billion by May of 2022, and that's quite a significant growth in a couple of years. And the growth was driven by the increasing demand for stable and reliable digital assets that could facilitate that trading, lending, and other financial activities within our crypto ecosystem. And so Tether is one of the earliest and the most popular at this point. We also have USD, which is USDC coin, and that was introduced by Circle in 2018. They are another fiat-backed stablecoin that's pegged to the US dollar. They are known for their transparency and regulatory compliance, and they have regular audits to ensure that each USDC coin is backed by a corresponding US dollar. So, and they've gained significant traction among users that are seeking stability and reliability in this volatile market, particularly because those folks that were using Tether in the beginning, and then there was all those rumors floating around that they're kind of might not be so successful, and there's some kind of shady dealings going on in the background, and so people were trying to find something different. And who knows? I mean, there's rumors all over within the crypto space all over the time. And, whenever you do hear something negative about a particular project, coin, person, whatever, always ask yourself, who stands to benefit from this news or rumor?
Right.
Whether it's
I was just gonna say, I was sitting here just reflecting back 2017, 2018, right? Really 2016, 2017, and in 2018, it was like it was hey, what's this Tether thing? Oh, well, that's where you lock in your profits and you wait for the price to drop, and then you go right back in without having to pull all your money out and go through that long process. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then like the FUD would come through, just the it's creepy. Oh, it's tied to this. Oh, it's tied to that. And it's like, well, okay, I guess. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes this other coin, just on scene 2018. Now, we can all speculate that Circle was putting this out, blah blah blah, or there was some truth in going, hey, we're about to get wrecked on our market. Tether could be killing our projects, and we don't even know it yet because they're, of whatever. There's so much stuff going around. Even today, it's like the same song and dance. I'm really kind of numb to it, to be quite honest. But both of them. To both of them. So much back and forth.
I've always speculated that Tether is just exactly what the name implies. And when I've told this story 100 times. When I was in high school, the naughty kids wore tethers on their ankles, and I've always associated the word tether with someone getting in trouble and being followed. Yes, they wore tethers. Look it up.
I'm totally doing this. Can you talk about when you were in school? So I want to see this.
All the kids that went to juvie, right? The juvie hall or whatever. Or they went to jail, but it was like the juvenile jail, and then they got out. They had to wear tethers, because they were only. It's kind of like the good old boot that there's speculation of all these Hollywood stars walking around with boots and Congress people and stuff. And so, in any event, I've always looked at Tether with some caution. And the realization, I've always told myself that Tether is just exactly that. Wherever that goes, they're following. They're following you, right? What your Tether.
I always feel like somebody's watching me,
and I get no privacy. Oh. Yeah, no, but and especially with Bitcoin, too. Do think that a lot of people in the early days thought that this was completely anonymous, and some folks that aren't so savvy when it comes to these types of things, or they don't have the desire to really learn for themselves and think for themselves about what they're doing, they might have been a little bit misled into thinking that their transactions were anonymous, and they actually were not so anonymous after all. And so I'm very curious what's going to end up happening with Tether. But I don't play with Tether that much. I mean, I buy something. Homie, don't play with Tether. But then there's also one other one. There's other ones too, but these are just the top 3 that most people are aware of. There's and I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. DAI, DAI,
or DIA.
So unlike unlike fiat-backed stablecoins, DAI is a decentralized stablecoin that operates on the Ethereum blockchain, and it maintains its peg to the US dollar through an algorithmic system of smart contracts, making it a truly decentralized digital currency. And DAI allows users to borrow, lend, and save their assets without the need for traditional financial intermediaries. So that's pretty interesting. I've never used DAI. And it just even that little blurb of finding that out makes me more interested to learn about what they're doing and how people are using it. But these stablecoins, these 3 stablecoins, play a crucial role in the current crypto ecosystem by providing stability and facilitating the various financial activities from trading to lending and beyond. So then we have Ripple. Well, I will say this: Circle is another one, the one that created the USDC. Circle has also been in the circle of folks with the Ripple people. So a lot of times you'd see the head of Circle in conversations with the head of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. I've seen several interviews where they're talking in the same room and that sort of thing. And so both those players for sure have put the wanting to play in the regulated space. So instead of they've kind of built their products towards adhering to regulations, the know your customer, the anti-money laundering, all of those things, getting your what do they call it, the money licenses and all of those things. They have been building their business little by little. Yeah, Becky, we used to tether our horses, right? They've been just from day one playing in this sandbox to win, and realizing that the products that they're building, Ripple in particular, are really geared towards the international payments. They're solving that problem of exchanging and moving money without the need for that intermediary, and the whole Nostro Vostro account and fees. And we're going to talk about the fees a little bit later, because I was blown away at how much it does cost to move money right now.
In the current system.
Blew my mind. Didn't know. And so when you start asking those types of questions, when it comes to this RLUSD, the stable coin that Ripple is working to come out, and I mean, it's going to come out. They're going to get approved. They're going to get the regulatory clarity that they need, and they'll be able to use it. And once it hits, I really think, particularly just the institutions that the partnerships and all of the things that they've been doing up until this point, we're gonna see an increase coming in the space because of RLUSD. But that's just my opinion. But so what the heck is it? So what do you got to say?
Well, I was actually having a thought there while you were talking
blah, 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 blah.
No, while you're talking about the RLUSD, and you're saying they're going to get their oh my god, regulatory clarity and all that jazz, right? And I was just thinking about our conversation last week with, again, the awesome your boy Quincy Jones. Hold on, I'm about to lose my cookies here. Come back to me, thoughts. You were awesome. Oh, there it
Love
is.
you, thoughts.
Got it. Do you think that stable coins are going to be not just jurisdictionally attached to a certain jurisdiction, say country for country, right? Do you think that they're also going to go to the level of industry specific? You know what I mean? Think about this. You have interoperability. So like maybe the network that let's just say the medical industry, pharma, doctors, etc., right? They have their network and they have their payment systems that happen on that network. Okay. Then you have like RLUSD, right? And so I'm just thinking about like, well, maybe RLUSD is really good for whatever it's backed by, right? So depending on what it's backed by, maybe it'll be kind of, those stable coins will be industry or network specific, to a degree. Maybe industries will utilize this stable coin versus that stable coin, even though in truth they are pegged to the dollar or the fiat currency in your jurisdiction, but yet they are backed by different assets in that jurisdiction.
So this is what I personally feel the beauty is of the XRP ledger and XRP in general, and the problem that they've aimed to solve with, especially when it comes to cross-border payments. And then now this RLUSD that they're going to add to use alongside of the XRP. I do think that the whole way that this is being there's not going to be one chain that rules them all. They're going to be the interoperability, which is why I think it's very smart that they're going to make this RLUSD compatible with the Ethereum blockchain that has the smart contracts. Not that Ripple won't too maybe have their own smart contracts, but the thing that I like about Ripple, and it seems even like Ethereum, the developers on the Ethereum, and even these other blockchains, everybody's kind of starting to realize that you're going to be working. The best thing to do is to work together. And so maybe the different countries will have their own form of digital currency. The US, say, God, what do I want to say? There's going to be a lot of choices. Okay, a lot of choices to use, and as long as those wherever they want to transact against, as long as that meets the criteria and adheres to the regulatory standards in that jurisdiction or whatever, you can use XRP in the middle. And so if RLUSD adheres to the regulations and rules to be able to use that in being pegged to US treasuries and the US dollar, and they get the green light, someone in the US or anywhere can use RLUSD to send through XRP to someone in Japan who wants the yen, right? Is it the Japanese yen? Provided that digital version of the yen, and then it can be converted instantly from XRP to yen. And so I think you're right. It's going to work with all of these different ones. So if there is an entity that has a stable coin, I don't see why it couldn't exchange value for value using XRP in the middle. Now you could send just straight up RLUSD to each other directly, You know, I mean, there's different ways, but I don't know if I answered your question. I hope that I
No, you did. I'm just, you know, it's just a thought, right? Because the point you brought up, different countries are going to have their own thing. We've seen this, and I'm going to re-share my screen just to kind of re-go over some old but relevant information. You know, this is the crypto file. Remember when I dropped this in your lap like a couple of years ago, right? And shout out to Double X and what's his name? The not concerned citizen. Is it the concerned citizen?
Oh, boy, I haven't seen him in a while.
Man,
citizen of the future.
Yeah, citizen of the future. Thank you very much.
Future, and then XX1133 or something like that.
Yep, and yes, and there's a watermark right here. So shout out to them for this because this is a major gem. But I would argue spot on. Maybe not Ripple doing everything, but SBI is over there, and we see SBI over in the Asian markets has teamed up with XDC at some level. I'm sure maybe I'll ask Quincy about that. Maybe he can answer that. If he can't, it's cool, you know. But never hurts to ask just for understanding. But to Quincy's point last week, you know, on the XDC network, it's just now you can shop wherever you want and create business partnerships and say, hey, I like your product. It really fits our thing. And so, you know, he was talking more of the, you know, these networks and tokens and coins are going to be in industry specific. And so I was just thinking about, well, if it's industry specific, whatever happens within that industry plus jurisdiction, they would probably use a certain, you know, kind of a go-to stable coin. When now let's interject the cross-border payments, right? Interject XRP. That's what it was, one of its keynotes, right? Of the token or the coin itself, right? Cross-border payments. So that you know, that thing that we can all hey, it cost me $5 in my country to get XRP. It cost you 20. Hey, whatever. Here's the XRP. We can still go do business back in our own jurisdiction. So I could kind of see where, you know, some adoption of certain stable coins in certain jurisdictions or on certain networks or on, you know, that's going down far the rabbit hole. I'm totally picking up on it, but I don't want to lose the new debitors out there. But
yeah, as we go forward this conversation, I think some of the points you are making will have
they'll have merit.
And this is a good point. Life with Lee. I'd much prefer an RL gold than an RLUSD backed by gold than to ever inflating the fiat token. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of what Ripple is built with the XRP ledger and the XRP token in particular, being able to exchange, being able to have the mechanism. And I hope I'm using the right word. And as I go through my notes, I'll probably have the right nerve. But right now, I'm calling it a mechanism to exchange value for value. And so to exchange value for value, and it's creating an environment where there's not going to be one that rules them all. The countries, and we've talked about this before, where you know there's a level playing field being created. And the more that I look into what Ripple is doing and what some of these other blockchains are doing, and Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum, they're creating a system where you're not going to be relying on the central banks like we once did, the intermediaries of it all. You're kind of trapped. And a lot of those countries, when we get to how much money it costs to move money right now, you can see where some of these smaller countries, like, you know, the whole banking, the unbanked and that sort of thing, it blew my mind how much money it really costs. And so if you just think of yourself on a small scale, think of you moving money. And if it's going to cost you 5 to 7% of whatever your transaction is to send money across the world, you know, if you're a business person, you're trying to send it. I mean, it's super, super expensive. And where does all that money go? You know, it goes to all of these intermediaries, all these middlemen. The banks are collecting fees hand over fist. And so no wonder, as we learn more about this, as I learn more about this, no wonder there's been this hella battle, this crazy time that we've been living through, all of the distractions that we've seen. I'm convinced is to distract people from realizing what's going on with our financial system and the dismantling of the current system and bridging over to the new system. And I think, again, I've said this before, it's being handled as delicately as possible. Even though they're battling one another, I don't think any of these big players want the system to completely crash and burn. You know, like there's a lot of doomsdayers out there that'll say, you know, the sky is falling and, you know, the US dollar is going to zero and, you know, all these things. I really don't believe that. I believe that they are trying to figure it out. They've got the tug and pull and push and pull and all these things going on between the different countries. And, you know, maybe one country thought they were going to be the new ruler of the roost, but the fact of the matter is there is going to be no ruler of the roost. And we're going to have a system that's going to work together through these different things. And so, you know, just like people that watch this show, some people might love it and others might go, yep, not for me. I'm going to watch somebody else. And that's totally fine. Same thing when it comes to moving your money. So, or me using Copilot. I personally like Copilot. I like the Edge browser. Other people are like, no way, that's terrible. Some people like Apple. Some people, you know, like Droid.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is. And so the fact that we're moving to a system where we can have choice, I think is fantastic.
Well,
hey, Joanna McGrath.
I'm gonna first off, I would like to give full credit to B Rush. B Rush. We love you, B. Right, man. Love you, man. Real deal. We had a great conversation outside the was it Cat's Meow, right? Up in the Big O's.
Let's see, what was that? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Huh?
We're only in September.
Huh?
We're only in September. Get me into January yet. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do there, but yeah.
Cat's Meow, baby.
Yeah, Cat's Meow.
I had the time of my life at the Cat's Meow.
I would like to kind of bring what you're talking about in the financial global money systems that we have, right? For a long time, we've had this one over here, this one over here, this one over here, for that one over there. And then, you know, we get charged at the wazoo. Okay. Let's see. I have to do a little thinking here. Okay. So in the 90s, okay, when cell phones were like this big, hello, right?
Mine's still that big.
What are you talking about? It's not.
I like the big. I like the big.
You don't got the double trouble like I did. Hello. the old school flip was like this, yeah, and then you. Hey, what's up, man? Hold on. Beep. All right. So from that point going forward, the tech was huge, but it was expensive as hell to do a cell phone call. I remember, I had a buddy. His dad, he got a hold of his dad's. He made a call at the top of the hill for me. By the way, it's only a quarter mile from the top of the hill down to my house, quarter mile max. It was like a 30-second call. It was $15 back in the 90s, dude. Like, oh, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, get that back to your dad. We don't want to be responsible for this. I don't want to be like,
trouble.
Hey, girl, how you doing, man? You want me to set the shop, blah, blah. You know, all that trying to spit game. I'm on a cell phone. Anyways, so tech got smaller, but problems still remained. What was that problem? The interoperability. You had AT&T, VoiceStream back then, now T-Mobile, Verizon. There's a whole bunch of other ones that honestly I do not remember. But that's what we're moving to.
Yes.
In this financial system, right? You can have an iPhone, I can have a Samsung, so and so can have a knockoff, whatever. LG or Motorola, all these different brands can come together and we can talk on different devices and different communicating networks. We're going to be able to do that. That's what's going on here right now with our money system, for simple terms.
Well, and that is the whole point, of the ISO 2022 standard, messaging standard, the interoperability, the messaging standards to be able to communicate, and it is to everyone's advantage to have something that adheres to those standards so that they can play together with everyone. If you choose not to participate, you will be left out. You will be left out of it, or it will be more difficult. There, I'm sure there'll be things that are built, little side chains and things that people will be able to still utilize. But at the end of the day, from what I understand, through listening to just different interviews and conferences and people that you've never heard of, or I've never heard of, what they're working to build is something that by the time the masses really understand, or by the time the masses are brought on and masses money, they won't really even know they're using it, right? They won't even really get the fact that they're using it. And so they'll notice some certain fees and things are cheaper. They'll notice their deposits are faster. Then when we get to the micro payment thing, and they'll notice things changed quite a bit. But it's kind of like you were doing the cell phones. I went even a throwback farther where
I had one.
I'm older than you, but
I had one.
I pretty much lost my family and friends when I was in my mid-20s. When I moved 45 minutes away, or maybe it was an hour and 20 minutes away from my hometown to raise my kids in a different place, and everywhere was long distance. Everywhere was long distance. I had no friends there, nothing. I couldn't call.
And so I remember that.
I went from being able, being a stay-at-home mom and being able to talk to, my confidant and my coach, telling me, kind of helping me with how to raise kids and stuff, and how to grocery shop and how to cook food and do all these things. I lost my people completely because I couldn't afford to have that long distance phone bill. And so, at first, you had to shop around and you get the different prices and all these things. And then before you know it, and you know what? I want to, and then we'll get back to Ripple and
no, this is good. No, this is good. No, this is good.
But one thing that really struck my interest with this whole thing, the guy from Celsius, that guy that what's his name, Alex?
Yes, I know him, yes.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
If you research him, he also had to do with the telephone companies. He was also a player, and so I don't know. I think as we see these things change historically, there's big technologies and things that are happening, and people kind of pop in the scene and then they pop out and then they're into something else. And he was in and then he's kind of out, and had that whole Celsius thing where a lot of us lost money on that and all of this. But I don't know, I kind of feel that was a problem, reaction, solution type scenario, and they use people like him to create those situations and to bring it to the forefront so that nobody else will do it, right? And so then you have a controlled event that they already know the outcome is already planned for, right?
Yep.
So in any event, sorry, I got off track there.
No, it's good. That's good. I was having flashbacks to the corded phone days, the
$2,500 phone bill.
Oh, dude, there was not that much, but $300 back in the early 90s.
Oh, yeah. I had a $400 phone bill, and I remember my I was falling on the floor, like going, "How in the frick am I going to pay for this?" It was terrible.
I remember. Ooh, man, I remember. I got it was Voice Stream. I had like a $328 bill, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Shit.
Or heck, oh my gosh, sorry guys, sorry for the cuss word. My bad, earmuffs. A little late on that, but I was definitely WTF, and that was a big hard tech slap to the face, dang, but man, did I enjoy that cell phone? Amen. Ooh, battery's on. Hold on. I did too. It's like my mom was like, "Well, the house phone's inside. Why don't you use it?" It's like, "Well, because you're there."
I don't want to. I want my privacy. I want to use my cell phone.
But I remember long distance. About an hour car ride away was about the threshold. You kind of had to gauge it. Like there was do you remember I know we're squirreling off here, but I know some of you people will remember this. The Thomas Guide map books. Remember those? Thomas Guide map books?
I use AAA, like the AAA map books.
Oh, this was like a spiral like map.
Yeah.
Book, like.
No.
AAA had it too. Okay, perfect.
AAA gave you books like that too, but you're talking about like the big one with the binder, like the little.
Yeah. It was like about three-quarters of the shake. Yeah.
They'd give you some really sweet maps and folded maps, and
so you would go on them. You would go and find where you're at, and then turn the pages to find what's north, south, east, and west, and you just draw a line. Everything north of that line is pretty much long distance. Everything south of that line is pretty much long distance. Like it was, as we laugh at that now, but that'd be like if you could go to Google Maps and check out your cell service and see all the numbers that are floating outside your cell service. You're like, nope, I can't call them yet. Nope, I can't call them yet. And then they just come into your cell road service like, hurry up, man. I'm watching you on maps.
Seriously. Seriously. We did. We evolved from certain plans when they started to interoperate with each other, right? You could, if it was this person and that one, it didn't count against your plan. But if it was the outsider, then it did count. So there was all of that time when we had to keep looking at our phone bills and make sure that, we weren't going over our limit. And, at some point it just ended up being like, well, you're unlimited and there's nothing, you're never charged for anything. But yeah, I mean, we've come a long way, and this is what's happening in this space too, in the cryptocurrency space. And I mean, we're right there. There's so many cool things happening. Payphone, dude, money paradise. Payphones were a trip, and they were fun.
Payphones, you need if payphones were necessary, especially if you were straight up crawfish. Because I remember those. That's what I was saying. I had one. I remember the beeper. Man, I remember the beeper. We had the beeper, the pager. I mean, I even had a little fake. I had a little fake gold chain on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
but hey, crawfish. So you were sporting the beeper in the 90s or in the 80s.
80s, yeah.
Did your delinquents have to wear tethers on their ankle, or was that just in my hometown? Because I mean, I distinctly remember that. I just find it very interesting. But anyway, let's get back to the Ripple.
We have advanced, and this is this is cell phone this is telephone upgrade to the money system 2.0.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. It is.
I mean,
we went on a tangent there.
No, but that's what we do sometimes, because that's what we do, right? That's what we that's what we do. Hopefully I don't lose my spot. So
So we're talking about we're waka waka. We're talking about RLUSD, and you were gonna give us the rundown. You know, so like what is it?
So it's Ripple's excuse me, Ripple's latest creation, designed to be a stable and transparent store of value. So they're aiming for stability and transparency. They aim to maintain a constant value of $1 US, so no wild price swings. And they want it to be fully backed by a segregated reserve of cash and cash equivalents. So when you hold RLUSD, you're essentially holding a digital dollar in your virtual wallet. And it's been said that it will be backed by U.S. Treasuries, which, you know, okay, with the conspiracy theories and all of that, but, you know, like there's people that say Trump put the Fed under the U.S. Treasury back when he was president. And there's a lot of folks that speculate that, you know, this has been part of the plan all along when it comes to our money system. And I guess whether it's true or it's not true, it's kind of irrelevant because that's the way that things are happening. So it's just fun to speculate on that. But so this Copilot had a little bit of fun with me. I think it knows my personality now, so it's kind of putting some funny things on there. It's like RLUSD is a bit of a globetrotter. It's issued on both the XRP ledger, where XRP does its dance, and the Ethereum blockchain. Why choose one when you can have two ecosystems, right? This multi-chain approach opens up possibilities and ensures broader adoption, which I agree. That's what I said earlier. You know, a lot of people were skeptical and pissed off at the prospect of this RLUSD being put on the Ethereum blockchain, but I think it's smart. And again, we're playing together, right? We're going to work together. We're going to interoperate. And who benefits from that? We do, because we're different people. People have different preferences, different needs. And if you create this new ecosystem, you want to all work together. And so I feel like that's a very good thing. And then speedy settlements. So it says, you know, its plan is to zips around the world in near real time with minimal fees. So say goodbye to waiting for days while your traditional bank does its paperwork shuffle. See, isn't it Copilot? It's kind of funny. And don't forget that Ripple recently acquired the standard custody. And that adds an extra layer of security. And so the Copilot saying, imagine RLUSD wrapped in a digital vault guarded by cryptographic dragons. But not dragons, but you guys get the idea. But in any event, the speculation is that this is a game changer. It has game-changing potential. It's not just another stable coin. It's potentially transformative. It's going to be faster than your traditional currency, cost-effective, built for payments, and it will allow for cross-border transactions to happen seamlessly, like a well-choreographed dance.
You know, on just on that, I'm just having a thought here. I want to see what the fee is going to be on the Ethereum network. I mean, because Ethereum has a history of being pricey, and I'm sitting here just thinking, like, why would they choose that? Like initially, it's like, well, Tether's on the Ethereum blockchain. It went there first. USDC, Ethereum blockchain, it went there first. You know?
So this is what I'm thinking is.
Are we like a web? Is this like are they doing like a Web3, Web2 kind of?
No. Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, guys, but if anybody knows, but this is what popped in my head, and I'm not sure, but so all I know is like the exchanges and the DeFi spaces that Mr. Mann sent us to. Speaking of Mr. Mann, he's coming on the EP42 show. Is it next Wednesday or is it the Wednesday after?
The following 8. Yeah, let me just look real quick.
We got Mr. Mann. We got Mr. Mann coming on the September 18th. In any event, so the different the different use cases for it. if someone has if they allow RLUSD on the Ethereum blockchain and someone uses that for their smart contract, okay, and then that smart contract it's going to pay out money, it's going to pay out RLUSD or whatever, and it needs to pay it out to somebody in Japan, okay. They can use the XRP ledger and XRP to exchange value for value without having to use Ethereum network directly to send that payment from the Ethereum blockchain, right? And this is where I think it's key. And again, I'm not a developer or anything like that. I'm just trying to do my research, but this is the way that I'm understanding how it's supposed to work in the future. That the whole point of XRP is that you don't have to. So just like even people talking about moving Bitcoin, it's so expensive and all of these things, right? And Bitcoin can't scale, right? The blockchain can't scale to move the volume of money. Okay, it doesn't need to, because it can use XRP, the XRP ledger. It could be exchanged value for value. You can send your Bitcoin, use it, switch it out, and then send it on the other end in seconds, right? And so, or anything. And so, you've got Ethereum building all their smart contracts. You have people building, working on smart contracts and hooks and things on the XRP ledger. And you have the things that XDC network and Quincy Jones was talking about. It's all going to interoperate with each other. It's just.
That I get, because if you wanted something on the Ethereum network, you both had to be on the Ethereum network. I was just thinking, like, okay, if you had RLUSD on the Ethereum network and you sent it to do that transaction, and that sending person, I'm wondering how much it's going to cost them to do that just on the Ethereum network, because Ethereum has been known for their heavy fees back in the day. I specifically remember $150 tab at the Ethereum bar back in the day. So
but were you sending Ethereum to another wallet or something? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's on the Ethereum network. So in my mind, okay, just because I'm sending RLUSD on that network, I still got to pay the toll for that network. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even though it's going to go to interoperability and go to a different network and all that stuff, like the transaction is going to go. I started at Ethereum, I did the old switcheroo, and now I'm on to, say, the XDC or the XRP ledger. But first I had to go down highway Ethereum before I got to XRP ledger land. Right. So I'm just wondering, the sender from that, what's the gas fee going to be on? Because again, and I know you probably don't have an answer. I was just thinking about I wonder how the fees are going to play out with that.
I will say this because when I did the Shikaka, those of you don't know, I'm an ambassador for the Shikaka coin. And when I purchased some Shikaka coin, they are on the base chain network.
Base chain.
And so I had to bridge, or I don't know if that's, I think I had to bridge to the base chain from Ethereum, and I send it from my Uphold to my wallet. What's that wallet called? the one I've never used before. Anyway,
MetaMask.
MetaMask. I sent it
Yeah.
to my MetaMask wallet, and in any event, the fees were very low, and I was very shocked because I thought it was going to cost me a lot in fees. And
Right.
so perhaps, you know, I mean, especially
Yes.
like the base chain is interoperating with Ethereum, with the Ethereum network nicely, and the fees were low. And so given, I mean, Ripple and XRP, like Ripple is not going to do anything that is going to cost their customers more money. And so something, I don't know. I hope that someone else might know a little bit more than me.
Yeah, it makes sense because you're talking about
it's going to
it's
work.
wrapped. Like,
Yeah.
it can be wrapped. You know, there's other things that make the fees less. I know if you go layer 2, layer 3, depending on what network is on top of that network, that's on top of that network or chain, whatever, like the end network or the network you're on, even though like base chain is its own chain, but it's also on top. It's a layer 2 on Ethereum, if I'm correct. Someone could correct me on that. My point is Ethereum and then base chain is built on top of that. But this is where you're rolling. You're rolling on the base chain, so you pay the base chain fees, right? So I'm thinking like the RLUSD, you know, is a layer 2, layer 3 protocol to be able to do that, you know, from the XRP ledger over to what would be the Ethereum network. At least that would be like the sub or zero network. You used to have to pay more with these guys. Anyways, whatever.
So as I'm learning a little bit more about this, the RLUSD created by Ripple, I started inquiring on what's the difference between RLUSD and a CBDC, because I've heard a lot of people speculate that you know that's just a another form of a CBDC, and so basically here are some differences. So the RLUSD is created by Ripple, which they're a private company, and their stablecoin, it's going to be pegged to $1 and it's not directly backed by a central bank. Instead, it's collateralized by a reserve of cash and cash equivalents. And then that primary use case, this is my understanding, the primary use case for the RLUSD stablecoin is designed for efficient cross-border payments and to be used as a reliable store of value within the Ripple ecosystem.
There it is.
And a CBDC, and so that's where you would you when you went back and said, could they individually?
Yeah, would it be industry or, you know, industry specific kind of thing? Because that's what I see there. And you just answered that. Cross-border payment. There's a section, right? We handle cross-border payments. That's what we do, right?
And they've never deterred from that. They've always said,
right? Yeah, exactly. So then of course the sauce is in the pudding.
Yeah.
The sauce. What the hell? Top of the notch. Yo, the sauce is in the pudding. Yeah.
What?
Yes, that answers that. CBDCs.
So, and the CBDCs, though, those are issued. They're the brainchild of the central banks. And you think of Central Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the European central banks, etc. They're the official digital versions of a country's fiat currency. And so CBDCs are a direct liability of the central bank itself, just like physical cash. And it's the official digital version of the country's fiat. So, and CBDCs are automatically considered legal tender, which means that they can be used for everyday transactions within the country. Okay. And the CBDCs that they're creating now, they aim to improve payment systems, enhance financial inclusion, and provide a government-sanctioned digital alternative to physical cash. Okay. Now, the key difference between these two is RL. This is what Copilot said. RLUSD is like the cool cousin who throws the stablecoin party, but it's not directly tied to any government, which that is a very important statement. CBDCs, on the other hand, are the official VIP passes issued by the central bank itself. And while they both aim for stability, CBDCs have the added weight of regulatory backing and legal recognition, okay, automatically because they're a CBDC. Well, that doesn't mean that RLUSD can't get regulatory backing and legal recognition, okay? And so in summary, RLUSD is a private stablecoin, Ripple's creation, collateralized but not directly backed by a central bank, and CBDCs are the official digital currency issued by the central bank, as legit as your grandma's secret cookie recipe.
Too legit. Too legit to quit.
So now when I started asking those questions, I was like, you know what? It definitely sounds like RLUSD could be a direct competitor with CBDCs.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
I mean, I think they could definitely shake things up because
let's look at this. Let's look at let's just take a moment to reflect back at the possibilities of non-direct competition. Here you have Ripple, totally behind the CBDC, the digital yuan, and there it is. Okay, so not in direct competition. Okay, so let's go back and I'll reshare.
But they can
okay,
work.
So if you have
together.
Ripple, they do. I'd be like this. I'm Uber Eats, Ripple. I drop off the food at your front door, but you, CBDC, central bank, right? Because you're in your own house, are the mom. Here you go, dinner served. Boom. Same, right? I think the interesting thing is the higher standard that XRP oh my god, dude, RLUSD is being held to because of what they're backing it with, real world assets, etc. Okay, so you have that versus the central bank digital currency CBDC that's being used in house. It doesn't go anywhere else. It just stays right there. Right. So you have the international higher standard. So we can trade back and forth. But in house, your central bank, your central bank's currencies will be backed by other, and I've seen it. Shout out to Mr. Mann, other stable coins. They'll be backed by that. Not all of them, I can't speak for all, but Mr. Mann has brought a case. In fact, dude, I'm gonna ask him on the 18th. We're gonna talk about. I gotta write it down so I don't forget. But we're gonna talk about this a little bit more. I'm just seeing that right now, and here it is. I'm gonna share the screen. I know it doesn't depict. Hey, Ripple's way outside of this digital yen. A CBDC in house. Here's Ripple. Here's the partnerships. Boom. So you got the outside source, right? Ripple Asia. This is all Ripple Asia, right? Okay, but everybody in your own country, the yen, the baht, the peso, Singapore dollar, etc. Those are all in-house currencies. So I can see where the CBDCs are going to be done in their own jurisdictions specifically. Like the problem that we have today is all jurisdictions, central banks have to have a reserve of X amount of currencies, also known as a basket, so to speak, referred to as a basket, but it gets a little deep there. So now they don't have to do that anymore. They only have to worry about one piece of digital paper in their control, and whatever the the interoperability or the cross-border payment is, hey, it takes me 100 million of my digital CBDCs to do XRP to send it over there, and that equals half a million in my country or whatever, right? I know the math doesn't make sense there, but it's basically whatever it takes for me to get the one thing to do a deal. It takes you as many dollars as it takes to get the same thing.
Yeah. And it's like if you're in another country and you buy XRP, it costs whatever however much it is on your side for your currency.
Exactly.
However much US dollar. I mean, a lot of we always think like US dollar centric type thing. But having that XRP mechanism in between makes it irrelevant. It's so super fast that you literally are exchanging value for value, and however much that value is in yours is what your side of the world is,
right? Exactly.
But it's going to be there.
Exactly.
And so basically they overlap each other. I think CBDCs will serve the citizens and the government, and RLUSD caters to those global transactions. While this is what Copilot kind of alluded to, is that it's not necessarily going to dethrone CBDCs. Not every country is going to have a CBDC either, but it might nudge them to polish their armor, because competition breeds innovation. And so if RLUSD gains traction like these other stable coins have, it could inspire the CBDCs to level up so that they're faster, cheaper, and more user-friendly. Because, I mean, they've just been like, they've had it so cornered with no other option, that, I mean, and then they've just been able to rule the roost. All these central banks, they've made their own rules based on whatever they can get away with. And so as soon as you start giving people choices, people in governments choices, no wonder there's such this battle going on. But I said I thought about all of that and the CBDCs, and I said, like, couldn't some governments still transact in RLUSD and not even use a CBDC at all?
Maybe.
Well, absolutely, they can. So because they're stable and they're efficient, they could actually use that to send their payments, or use it. They could adopt it as a acceptable form of money to accept payments for taxes or whatever, right? Doesn't have to be a CBDC. And so as long as they end up saying it's legal tender, I mean, who knows whether or not they could do it.
Kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, and what I mean by crazy thing is this. Never in my lifetime, obviously, arguably my parents' lifetime, have we had this much open, discussed knowledge about the financial system.
Yeah.
I'm sure back in the day, this was a topic, how does it work, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I go to my fancy parties and we talk about money. It's boring, but it's necessary. And that Phil Wankster is a super, super wankster. It's just whatever. Anyways, by the way, that's not a shot at any Brits or anything like that. I love your accent, you guys.
I love it
when y'all get pissed, when you guys all get like upset, not pissed, because even though you might be pissed when you're upset, but pissed means drunk, not pissed like you mean in America. Or
piss off. That's what I used to like to say. Right? Yeah, you piss off.
You're right. And what you gotta say here, mate?
Be Rush.
Talk to me.
RLUSD.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Go. Read it.
I'm going to read it. Okay, so I'm going to read it. RLUSD could be used as an intermediate. Oh my gosh, you wanted me to say that word. Intermediate dollar representation between banks and exchanges, because the supply may not be as large. Valid. Valid. Now, which brings up a whole nother question. Is this just another printing machine?
No.
No,
because I don't think so.
And why is that?
Because it's going to be dollar for dollar, backed by U.S. Treasuries, and transparent, regular audited statements, to where you're going to be able to see that it is legitly backed 1-to-1 by the Treasuries. The Treasuries,
and if they do real world assets, that would,
like gold or whatever.
Yep,
yes,
sure, exactly. That would be your supply. And B-Rush, valid, very valid. How long do you think it's going to take for that to play out?
I mean, it's going to be a little while. So, well, okay. Before we get to that,
I keep taking us off the rails.
No, not at all. I do want to say I want to try to keep this at under 2 hours. So we've got about like 25 minutes left.
Sure.
Or so ish. That's my goal anyway. RLUSD, Brad said weeks, so we'll see what happens. But I asked the question, can U.S. citizens use RLUSD for their transaction or use it to store their wealth? So, and it's like, absolutely they can. Once this is ready and approved and it's on there for people to use, they can indeed use it for transactions. It would be just like having a digital dollar in your pocket that would be secure, fast, and purpose-built for payments. So whether you're sending it across borders or just paying for goods and services, RLUSD will work for that. And it would provide you with instant payouts. So, because how fast RLUSD would zip around using XRP to facilitate, you wouldn't even need to have a bank account. Okay. The RLUSD is going to be what offers that easy fiat to stablecoin on and off ramp globally. Yep. So whether you're in, Washington or in Maui, you'd be covered with that. And then because RLUSD is being designed to maintain that constant value of $1, it would be like a digital mattress where you can stash your wealth without worrying about market volatility. Now, of course, I don't know that you'd want to just leave your RLUSD just in a wallet, not earning anything or whatever. But I guess if, like we've said in way earlier shows about having different wallets and ways that you're going to invest your money, the same as you do in the traditional system, where you're not carrying all of your money in your purse or your back pocket. You got a little bit here, you got some in money market funds, you got some in savings, you got some in checking, you got some in gold, you got whatever.
IBC policy.
Same thing. But IBC policy, absolutely. But I mean, the RLUSD, for those moments in time where you want to take a little profit, for example, and store it somewhere without any volatility, I personally would trust RLUSD over Tether any day of the week, because it will be backed by a segregated reserve of cash and cash equivalents. So, and because they said for every RLUSD in circulation, they will be backed 1-to-1 in that reserve. So, let's see what else. And then here's another thing about RLUSD is that it's supposed to, or it's going to hopefully provide liquidity for major trading pairs on those centralized exchanges. And so, I mean, look at the different different trading pairs that you go in and out of now. Adding RLUSD is going to add liquidity, right? By having that. And again, with the fact that it's on Ethereum, so it'll be on multiple ecosystems. Oh, and this is the other thing, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know too much about this, but it says it's programmable finance. So it's saying that RLUSD isn't just a static coin, that that'll be programmable. So you can use it for the financial services, trading, and more. Can't purchase it now. It's not ready. It's not ready quite yet, but they're testing it out. They're testing it out.
I'm really curious about this topic at a very deep money understanding level. And Melissa, I know your field of operation on the 9 to 5 really is very much intertwined with this. When I think about traditional approved vehicles for just say a retirement account, okay, and you think about what some of their means are. They don't just entirely invest in markets or own properties. Insurance companies specifically, they sell blocks of money to finance companies, right, for a nominal fee, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, so is there going to be a mad rush to scoop these up and sit on them till things get lined up? And that's, that's going to be the new thing. Our policies are backed up by RLUSD and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And this is how we get the guarantee. You can go look at the blockchain in real time to see what our policy, our investments are earning to translate over to our insurance policies and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I don't know. What question I didn't ask is how many are they making? Like, what is, so as they create them, they have to be backed 1-to-1. So are they created as they have
how
the
many
money?
RLUSD is Ripple going to make, chat?
Yeah. I didn't even think to ask that question.
Ripple is expected to release a significant amount of XRP into the market over time, but the exact amount of RLUSD, Ripple Liquidity USD, that will be generated depends on various factors like market demand, partnerships, and adoption. RLUSD isn't an official currency or term in the Ripple ecosystem, so I think you might be referring to Ripple's broader liquidity in USD terms. Could you clarify what you're asking about? Are you referring to Ripple's future valuation or specific liquidity mechanisms?
Yours has got a sexy voice.
Got it. What exactly do you mean by RLUSD? Could you clarify what you're referring to so I can give a more accurate response?
Yes, I could, but please stand by. I'm in the middle of a live right now. So if you just hold tight, I will clarify, and we'll go into this later on a YouTube short.
Sounds good. I'll be here when you're ready to dive into it.
Bye, boyfriend.
Good luck with your live session.
Thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Oh my God, I totally need that.
Dude, there was something else you said. I was trying to like, I gotta try this. I gotta try this. Yeah, this is that's the Chat GPT app. Anyways.
So B-Rush said that's the point. Could be 100 billion, could be 1 trillion. Just depends on how much value they have.
And you got treasuries. How much of the treasury market are they going to be able to attain, right? Because and I know XDC's been doing live tests with treasuries. There's been a few that have been live testing with treasuries on their networks and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see this real world, real time dividing up the pieces of the pie and how they're going to work with each other. Like, dude, we've never seen any of this ever,
Mhm.
you know, and this fast too. I mean, I can only imagine what it must have been like to be, I mean, Brad and friends, okay, the worker bees, you know, knocking it out. They have email, video chat, like it's efficient, right? Can you imagine before most of that, they would have to fly, spend two weeks together to try to hash out all the stuff, then go back to their respective jurisdictions and then write letters to each other back and forth to make sure we are in agreement and da da da. Like, dang, man, no wonder it's all screwed up, you know. And then, you know, whatever. I'm gonna go on a tangent there, but I was just sitting here thinking, like, this is really amazing to see. And man, what a pain in the butt it must have been way back in the day. Damn.
Right?
Ugh.
Well,
No wonder there was wars.
Rosemary wants to know, that was the voice function of Chat GPT.
Yeah. Here we go.
I like the voice.
Chat, I'm still doing the live, but what I was trying to figure out is if you are aware currently of how many RLUSD tokens Ripple is initially planning to create, and if you could tell me what they are going to be using to back up that currency. Wait for it.
I see. RLUSD appears to be a relatively new term, and there isn't much public information on it yet. From what I can gather, it might be part of a new development or initiative within Ripple's ecosystem, potentially tied to stablecoins or tokenized assets. However, as of now, Ripple hasn't officially announced any plans or specifics about the issuance or backing of RLUSD tokens. If Ripple were to issue a stablecoin like RLUSD, it would likely be backed by fiat currencies or other assets, similar to how other stablecoins like USDT or USDC are backed. But since this is speculative, it's best to keep an eye on official Ripple communications or updates for concrete details. Let me know if you have more insights or updates, and I'll keep following the news on it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very, very much. A digital knuckle bump to you, sir, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Huh? It's
Digital
creative.
knuckle bump right back at you. Talk soon. Good luck with the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Good luck with the rest of your life. Huh?
Come on, man.
That's awesome.
If you guys ain't
man.
doing AI, dude, play with it. Yes, Rosemary. That was the app. I have a very dear friend of mine that convinced me to do that. And so I pulled the trigger on it. And honestly, for me, when I drive, that's when my noodle starts letting loose, and I start thinking of different questions and just thoughts, you know. And so yeah, I totally tried it the other day, because I can, obviously most of you know this by now, I can talk fast, not Quincy fast.
Yeah.
But I can talk fast, right?
Yeah.
And so it's easier for me to articulate what I'm trying to put down as opposed to me going or like this. I know people that are like this. It's like they are like kung fu masters with their thumbs on a cell phone, man. It's like Jet Li fast. Remember Jet Li?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, dude, there. Bing. Oh, someone responded. Oh, let's check this. Yeah, dude. It's insane. But yeah, that was Chat GPT. You know, it's great. All AI guys listen to the same voices first. Voices only in the future. Yeah, I've always kind of wanted my own. Sorry, swirling off here. I've always, ever since I watched Iron Man, the Marvel again. Okay, you got to go see these, Melissa. You just got to. Okay, like quit your job for 2 weeks, go watch them, then come back. Anyways,
I know.
I just like watch an Iron Man. Watch Iron Man this weekend. Just watch the first one. There's multiple, but just watch the first one. So Iron Man has this AI. Oh my God, I'm brain farting on his name. I can't believe that. Jarvis. His name's Jarvis. And so I want a Jarvis. I totally want a Jarvis. A Jarvis would be badass. So I got Chat GPT and it works for me. Anyways, yeah. I love it.
Very cool. So
Thank you, Bush. Rush. Not
we
Bush,
got 10
Rush.
minutes. Towards the very end, this is kind of the fun part, and because I promised that we would talk a little bit about the fees and how much it costs to move money. But so as I'm studying this up, I'm going back and forth with my own version of the my boyfriend's in Copilot. But he doesn't talk to me. He just types it out. So I got to figure out how to do that. But anyway, I said, if XRP begins to move a significant portion of daily transactions across the world, would it need to be a higher price to keep the transactions fees low and to maintain liquidity? That was my question. And Copilot says, oh, let's wade into the waters of XRP and explore how it handles this tango. The digital asset indeed significantly impacts cross-border payments and remittances. But when it comes to handling all the money, let's break it down. So the liquidity and transaction fees, the liquidity, saying, imagine XRP as the bridge currency between two fiat currencies. It enables these companies to source the liquidity on demand without pre-funding those Nostro Vostro accounts, which a lot of us are familiar with, meaning countries used to have a stash of money in another country in order to do business so that the settlement time would go quickly because they didn't trust that the money would be there, right? That they really had the money. So, so the transaction fees for XRP are incredibly low, fractions of a cent, and it's crucial for high volume transactions. But even if our XRP's price is higher, which is what I was wondering about, the fees would remain relatively super minimal because the fee is denominated in XRP, not the US dollar. So whether XRP is 50 cents or $5, the fee would stay very, tiny. Then the other part of my question that they answered, price and liquidity relationship. XRP's price doesn't directly impact its liquidity. Liquidity depends on the market depth, the availability of the buy and sell orders. And so even at a lower price, XRP can handle large volumes if there's significant liquidity. However, a higher XRP price might attract more institutional players, further boosting liquidity, but it's not a strict requirement. However, who are they catering to? Who are they trying to attract? Who are they signing contracts with? Institutional players. Right.
Yeah.
That's not the little guy. So there's two more points that they answered. Market dynamics. So XRP's liquidity is influenced by the trading activity, partnerships, and adoption. And it becomes the go-to bridge asset. If it becomes the go-to bridge asset for financial institutions, liquidity will naturally increase just because of them coming in. And so all of their efforts that they've been working towards to expand their ecosystem, like the recent acquisition of the Standard Custody and Trust company, that all plays a role in the value of Ripple and XRP, XRP in particular. And then finally, since Ripple's vision is to revolutionize the cross-border payments, if XRP were to handle a significant portion of global transactions, it would need that robust liquidity. But if they've got these institutional players in it, that would add to that. So I do think that it has the potential, just because of how it's designed and how much money gets moved. So I started asking questions about like ridiculous, prices for XRP because I was interested in how much it costs now, or how much it would cost to move money around.
Right.
And so I asked, if larger institutions started to use XRP, wouldn't it make sense that the price of XRP would need to be higher, given that there are 1 million drops in one XRP? And they said, you're absolutely right. if larger institutions embrace XRP for cross-border payments and remittances, it could significantly impact its utility and demand. Because XRP superpower lies in its speed, scalability, and low transaction fees. It's like an express train for the crypto world, which is efficient and cost effective. But it doesn't directly impact the price itself doesn't directly impact the liquidity. And like we said, the higher institution, the higher adoption by the institutions could lead to that to that demand. So I'm gonna like kind of going through my thing. What if what would the fee be to use XRP if the price of XRP was $1,000 per XRP? So I thought it was 12 drops, but when I researched it, it said currently the minimum transaction cost required by the XRP ledger for a standard transaction is 0.00001 XRP, which is equivalent to 10 drops. So if XRP's price were $1,000, the minimum transaction cost would remain the same, just 10 drops. And so the drop, if depending on where you're at, like if you're in United States, right, it'd be in USD, but the cost of the drop somewhere else would be something different, I guess.
If it was $1,000 per XRP, so 1,000 divided by 100 million, that gets you your price for per drop times 10 drops for transaction fees. If that was the price, it would cost you 0.0001 of a penny. 0.3 zeros and a 1.
So here's where I got a little bit crazy. And I was saying, can you calculate the cost to send $1 billion using XRP that has a price of $1,000? Okay. Basically, it's still going to be the 10 drops. And they initially misunderstood. It would be $10 for moving $1 billion. The cost to send $1 billion using XRP, assuming an XRP price of $1,000, would be 10,000 drops, which is equivalent to 0.01 XRP. It's a tiny fraction of the amount of money that if you were moving, if the price of XRP was $10,000, it would be oh geez, what did I say here?
Add a zero.
It would be $100 transaction fee, right? I think. I should have had this more.
No, it's good. But yeah, that's
it wouldn't be 10. It would be one XRP would be 10,000 at $10. Yes, the transaction cost would still be approximately 1 XRP. So to use that, it would be $10,000. That's what I mean. To send 1 billion. If the price of XRP was 10,000, it would be cheap. However, right now to send it, it costs between 5 and 7% of what you're sending. So if you were to send in fiat, if you were to send $1 billion in our traditional system right now, it would cost $70 million.
Now that's a
At
system
7%.
that I could get behind as long as I'm on the receiving end of that commission fee. I'll send money all day.
Yeah.
Roads open. I mean, get out of here. A money service provider for all? Dude. Oh, you want to do trillions of dollars a day? Sure, no problem.
Which of course I wish I would have given myself more time to talk about this. But so if you, I ask you guys, if you start looking in, like typing in, and I will try to put some in the show notes, different links that I found. I found some really good sites that have history of money and where they talk about fees and banking and all of these types of things. Because the people that get the money, the institutions or intermediaries that get this money, these fees, they're banks, the ones that handle the transactions or the currency conversions, the compliance checks, all that stuff that goes along with it because they charge for their services. The correspondent banks, because they act as intermediaries, so they get a cut. The payment processors, companies like Swift, the payment networks that facilitate transfers, they get to charge for their fees. You got exchange rate markups when converting currency. Institutions often apply a margin, buying at one rate and selling at another, and so this difference adds to the cost. And then, of course, you've got the cost of regulatory reporting and compliance, and so you have to pay for that. And so the bottom line is, the fees add up when you're sending money, and whether you're just a little old person, trying to send somebody across the world, or you're a country trying to do business with another country and you're sending money, it's eating up a lot of capital of these businesses and companies like Ripple, like Circle, like the Ethereum network. I don't know exactly who all those players are, but they're making a big difference, a big change. Yes, there's going to be fees. There's still going to be fees, but it ain't going to be like this. There was a site that I found that it was how much each country spent in fees moving money across the world and how slow and all this kind of stuff. And then of course you've got the error rate where money just disappears. We don't know where it went. We're sorry, and it's just not acceptable. So super, super exciting to learn. And I think when this RLUSD comes on in full force, there's going to be some exciting things happening. But I don't know.
I think there will be. I really do. And I know we got about less than 2 minutes here.
We got 2 minutes. We want to thank you.
To peace out. But I think it's going to get real interesting. We're going to see some really just neat stuff from the position of perspective. You know, we really are. It's going to be cool. Melissa, thank you for the schooling on the RLUSD and stablecoins, man. I'm curious to see who else is going to come out with another stablecoin. Who's going to be the late horse to the track that could outrun them all? That would be very interesting.
Crypto AI, we love you. Thank you for coming.
B-Rush, love you, brother.
B-Rush.
My Marvel homie. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody.
We love you all. We'll see you guys next time. And please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good rest of the day.
Yeah.